Tonight, students give till it hurts for OSU's annual Winter Blood Drive.
Then, a possible new sports logo is raising a lot of attention from the OSU community. Could this be the new face of OSU athletics?
Then we're speaking with CAPS director Jackie Alvarez for her thoughts on the new 24-hour counseling hotline. We'll have all that and more on tonight's episode of the Beaver News.
Good evening and welcome to your Wednesday night edition of the Beaver News. I'm Brooke Chrisler.
And I'm Anna Singer. We're glad you could join us tonight.
Even though the holidays are over, the season for giving still continues. The season for giving blood, that is. At this week, the OSU Blood Drive Association is hosting their Winter Blood Drive in the MU Ballroom. Every day from 11 to 4, students and volunteers have been helping the Red Cross collect much-needed donations from anything to red blood cells to blood plasma. Today, students and faculty members alike came together to donate and volunteer as well.
We'd like to volunteer here and just really donate our time back to the community, and it's for a really good organization, and I mean, we're saving lives out here, so it's always a good time. Today I'm just doing 3 hours, just hanging out. We've been delivering blood bags to the nurses and making sure we're escorting people so that they don't fall over or anything.
This drive started on Monday and will continue until 4 p.m. tomorrow night. For the past few years, the Greek community has become very involved in these blood drives, going so far as to create a competition to see who can donate the most units. At the end of the blood drive collection season, the Red Cross presents the winning house with the Distinguished Blood Drive Trophy. This year's house to beat is fraternity Sigma Phi Epsilon. Coordinators of the drive has said that so far this year, they have had an excellent turnout for donations.
The Chinese Lantern Festival marks the end of a 15-day-long Lunar New Year celebration, which is falling this Sunday, the 24th. To celebrate, the East Stream Chinese Dance Group is presenting their annual concert, Dance of Spring, this Sunday at the LaSalle Stewart Center. This evening's performances will include an entirely new repertoire of Chinese dances along with colorful, authentic costumes. There will also be guest performances such as martial arts demonstrations and traditional Chinese folk music. Be sure to tune into our Monday night episode of the Beaver News for more coverage of this event.
On Tuesday, 39-year-old Thomas James Carroll pled not guilty to a count of second-degree robbery of a nearby Super 8 hotel last Sunday. According to police, the Super 8 hotel in Corvallis was robbed early Sunday morning when the suspect placed an unzipped backpack on the lobby counter and ordered the clerk to fill the bag with threatening the clerk with a handgun. Police reports indicate that the man's face was hidden with a green scarf and sunglasses when he left the scene with $234. Within minutes of the 911 call, police arrested Carroll, who was nearby a half-mile away, with possession of the exact amount of money stolen and a pistol magazine from a BB gun. The district attorney's office stated that Carroll has been involved in other property crimes, and at the time of this hotel robbery, he was on parole for another felony. Carroll has been previously arrested for alleged parole violations, but it was later that officers linked him with the hotel robbery.
The verdict is still out on whether or not a new, recently released Beaver sports logo is legitimate. The image shown here recently became the source of national attention after a leaked image found its way to sportslogos.net, a national sports logos news website. Now the big controversy is this new face of Beaver Athletics, or is this a Photoshop fiasco? In the comments section of the article released by sportslogos.net, many Beaver fans expressed their disdain for the new image, saying that they did not find the logo too appealing, and many were simply unimpressed.
Following this lead, many local news organizations including KVAL, the Oregonian, the Gazette-Times, the Salem Statesman's News Journal, and Yahoo.com have begun bombarding OSU with questions to either confirm or deny the report. In a recent interview with the Gazette-Times, head football coach Mike Riley confirmed that he has been working with Nike on the new design, and while he did not directly confirm the new logo, he said he thinks it looks pretty sharp. He added that although he likes old school design, he understands why players like having new gear. Now, that question remains. Will OSU confirm the new logo anytime soon? How will the Beaver Nation respond? And what does this redesign mean for Beaver's merchandise? We'd like to know your thoughts on the matter. What do you think of the alleged new logo? Do you like it or hate it? Let us know what you think on our Facebook page at facebook.com/beavernews.
What do you think of the new logo?
I mean, kind of looks, I don't really interesting.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about it myself, but I mean, we'll see where it goes.
I guess that's.
If you've been wanting to learn more about OSU's higher education, faculty, staff, and students, then tomorrow is the perfect opportunity for you. OSU's President Ed Ray will be holding an open lecture tomorrow in Dearborn Hall discussing important issues such as compensation, university governance, and institutional boards, inclusion, diversity, and building accessibility, along with the upcoming update of the university's strategic priorities. If you are unable to make it on campus, you can also watch the online webcast. Following his talk, audience members are encouraged to share their thoughts and questions regarding different topics involved with the university.
In an email sent out to OSU students early yesterday morning, Counseling and Psychological Service, also known as CAPS, announced that they will be offering after-hours counseling services. Currently, CAPS operates under the normal working hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. during the week, but has recently installed a hotline that will offer emergency counseling services 24 hours a day. These new resources will allow students to speak to a licensed mental health counselor after 5 p.m. during the week, as well as on weekends and holidays. While CAPS understands that there are situations that are extremely urgent, they have also recommended that students arrange in-office appointments whenever possible. Yesterday, we spoke with Director of CAPS, Jackie Alvarez, about what these new hours means for students.
CAPS is a confidential counseling service that's available to students. We provide individual, group, couples counseling, and that is all free to a student if they're enrolled currently and have paid their student fees, so there are no additional costs. In addition to the counseling services, we also offer consultation services to any member of our community, and we also do a lot of workshops, programs, and training for students who may be in leadership positions or just eager to learn about mental health issues that will allow them to thrive in their daily lives. So we have been very aware that our counseling services are a great resource to students during working hours, but unfortunately, after hours, we've not been able to provide students with service, and we know that a lot of students have urgent concerns. They can't wait until the next day. So in the past, what we've done is just given them a hotline number that they could call, but there were a lot of limitations to that. So what we've done is we've identified some resources that will allow students still to call for after-hours crisis counseling, but with much better follow-through. So the folks that they'll be talking with will be able to help them with their urgent concerns, help them identify resources that could help them through the night, and they'll also take the students' information so that CAPS can follow up with them in the morning. So we'll be able to get them in for an appointment the next day, be sure that we connect them with other resources on or off campus that might be helpful for them, and just make sure that they get good follow-through for their concerns.
OSU is looking for new ways to get healthier, more nutritious food into campus eateries and stores. Catherine Hoy from the Cornell Center for Behavioral Economics and Child Nutrition Programs came for a visit to talk with OSU nutrition supervisors and to give out advice on how the layout, design, and product placement can affect how people buy their food. She made suggestions like moving healthier items together and more obvious in convenience stores to prevent people from gravitating towards chips and other unhealthy snacks. This was one of the many ideas that were discussed, and OSU-related food service managers will carry on choosing which ideas to implement at various locations on campus.
The recruitments have been signed for the 2013 Beavers football team, and Coach Mike Riley and the Beavers are preparing for spring practice, which starts April 1st. Offensive line coach Mike Kavanaugh was pursued by USC in the off-season but declined and decided to stay with the Beavers for this year. Scouts also approached receiving coach Brent Brennan and running back coach Chris Brassfield to transfer to other colleges around the country, but our coaches have all decided to stay with the team. The spring football game will be held at 7 p.m. on April 26th and will be broadcasted the Pac-12 networks.
Although Oregon is known for many exports from timber to hipster irony, only few know that it is actually the country's leading source of hazelnuts. It's estimated that 99% of the United States crops come from our very own Willamette Valley. Several years ago, the industry was on the verge of collapse because of a sun disease outbreak that destroyed many crops across the country. This disease, called Eastern Filbert blight, has been a known problem for years, but up until recently, there has not been a known remedy for this situation. However, a new study by researchers in the OSU College of Forestry has brought blight-resistant breeds to fruition. For the last 25 years, OSU professor of horticulture Sean Mellenbacher has been working on the disease-resistant hazelnut. First released by the OSU breeding program in 1997, the new breed has had a significant impact on the industry and is credited with keeping the harvest alive for another decade. Mellenbacher continues to try and spread this new resistant hazelnut into the hopes that in several years the disease will diminish.
In recent recycling news, the Ducks are pulling ahead in the annual Recyclemania event. Every year, OSU and U of O compete to see who can collect the most recycling per pound per person over a set number of weeks from January 20th to March 30th. This competition has usually been given to our ecologically aware students at OSU, but currently OSU is behind in this competition with just 4.5 pounds per person compared to U of O's 5.1 pounds per person. In order to defend our three-time Recyclemania championship, OSU is really going to have to step up their game over the next month. So get out and recycle OSU, and let's show those Ducks who's really green. Well, before we end tonight's show, let's talk with Emily Berkey about what's happening around the station for our Music News Beat.
Thanks, Brooke. First, let's start off with what's on the radio. This week, KBVR FM will be welcoming Boderick Besfina, a local Corvallis musician, to the studio. Boderick will be joining the FM crew this Saturday at 2 p.m. for a live performance. Boderick Besfina focuses on a mixture of atmospheric, experimental, and indie styles for a dreamscape mood. Boderick is a soloist but uses a mixer to loop different instruments together to make his solo performance sound like a symphony. KBVR FM will also be giving away tickets to the upcoming Sasquatch Music Festival that will be occurring over Labor Day weekend, which is Friday, May 24th to Monday, May 27th. Be sure to like KBVR FM's Facebook page for more information on the contest. And in music TV news, Locals Live, KBVR's live music concert show, will be hosting Sight Country Review. A recent review of the band by the Gazette-Times called Sight Country Review a, quote, intoxicating pool of rock-thorned honky-tonk, end quote. This Locals Live crew is excited to present this band and encourages the public to attend the concert live. And that's all the news we have for you for the Music News Beat.
Well, that's all the news we have for you tonight. I'm Brooke Chrisler.
And I'm Emily Berkey. We're glad you could join us.
For more of your Beaver news, be sure to check out our Facebook page, watch us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. Have a good night.